Today on Gamers Couch,
Mechs versus Minions. And I was a little bit unsure if it's Mechs versus Minions or Mechs versus Minions, because you'd certainly say Mech Warrior.
But it's a mech. The suit is a mech.
The curse of the German CH creeping into the English language.
Well, welcome to Gamers Couch. See, there is a CH that we can easily pronounce, because couch in German and English is pretty much the same word.
And there I was confused where the CH in welcome is, but yeah,
no,
sure.
Gamers Couch. Welcome, folks. Welcome to Gamers Couch. It's time to talk board games, as it is Sunday. If you're a mother looking on the other side of the screen inward into our living room, happy Mother's Day. Enjoy, have fun. We're talking the important things today, though, not the gifts for mothers, but board games. Mechs versus Minions. This is my sweet hubby Daniel, who's talking with me, Sarah, the artist behind Pinselgeschichten, owner of this channel. We are talking board games at length. This is not a short review video, but we are going through our collection on this video podcast, as I like to call it. And we share rules and gameplay, and we play you through a few turns of whatever game we have on the table. Then we talk about what we liked or not liked, have a little bit of a thumb rating, and tell you a few funny stories and experiences if we had some there. Usually we do. Also, this week is one of those weeks where at the end of the video, I'm going to tease the next painting for Draw for Initiative. So Daniel has to guess the game that we're going to paint next week. My love, can I compel you to tell the folks how this wonderful game is played in the tutorial setup?
Maybe.
What do I have to do to make you be quiet? Okay, I'm going to sip coffee. I'm going to be quiet.
Okay, welcome to one more of these. So this is a board game with video game ties, being made by Riot Games, and actually related to the League of Legends video game. Although you probably won't find too much crossover here if you're looking. This is not a MOBA. So this is a cooperative game where you will be controlling mechs. In fact, you will be programming them, so controlling them indirectly to some extent, and have to face off, as the game kind of hints at, minions from League of Legends. These tend to be not very clever either, but still pose a challenge. So one thing that's a little bit special about this game is that it's not a true legacy game like Pandemic Legacy, for example, but it is a game that evolves over playing, introducing more systems, gameplay things, and types of missions that will show up, and that is a very sound spoiler territory. So instead of showing you the first mission, we kind of decided to go with a tutorial setup, which is a little bit boring, I admit, but it should give you the general gist of how gameplay works, and anything built on top of that is a little extra. But yeah, keep in mind we're not telling you everything what's in this game. So if this looks a little bit too light, it could be because there's something more coming up. Anyway. As I said, this is a cooperative game. You play it in phases. You have a starting player who is in charge of drafting cards. Quickly to our setup here, so that you can see it on camera, we put these command lines, as they're called, up here. Although each player would have one of these in front of him or her, so that they can slot in programming cards. So you see here these memory slots 1 to 6, and we have our programming cards that look like little cartridges, SD cards, whatever you like, and these will go in here. Each command line also corresponds with a character. In this case, I tend to play Heimerdinger, who looks like this.
You know that we're on the tiny part. You might want to show them to the big camera.
It could have been that you flipped. So sorry.
No, I don't flip. Because you started showing things on the board.
And we have Ziggs.
That's me.
On the other
I
side.
look a bit cray-cray, but I'm kind of cool.
This is a 4-player game, so that's as good time as any. Here are the other two dudes, and you may already see that the minis look pretty good because they're colorful, and unlike the minions that are just washed. But we'll get to that in a second. So back to the game. First phase typically is the drafting phase. Now, in a full game, you would do a double draft, but in the tutorial, we're just doing a regular draft, meaning we reveal 5 cards from the command deck, and then each player will pick a card until 4 cards are taken. Now, that is true for the 2, 3, and 4-player game, meaning that you might end up with a different amount of cards. For the 2-player game, we will start with 2 cards, and I would be the first to pick a card. But to make an educated decision on what card to pick, we need to know what we have to do. Well, for the tutorial mission, all we have to do is to destroy these 4 crystals on the board. They can be destroyed either by standing next to them and dealing 1 point of damage, and that makes more sense if we look at the programming cards, or by simply stomping them, running over them. Now, when it comes to the cards, the command cards, they're basically a couple of different card types available. Ones with an arrow pointing forward, which generally lets you move forward. One with a turning arrow that lets you mech turn. These crosshairs typically are just an attack. And actually, did I miss some? No, that's the 3 ones, the 3 important ones. So since I'll be playing Heimerdinger, I think I want to go forward. So I will pick up the Blaze card, which, as you can see here, has different little effects listed on it. So if I have 1 Blaze card slotted here, what it will do, it will move me forward and then attack 2 targets to my left and right. Another thing you can do if you have multiple of these cards is if you already have one in the slot and put another one here, you activate the 2nd level of the Blaze card. But be aware that only goes for the first card you have on here. So you might have to plan a little bit more carefully. So I'm taking
called programming.
I'm taking the Blaze card. Which card do you want to take?
I have to cuddle with you now because I have to check. I want memory core.
Okay. So I'll take Chain Lightning as my 2nd card.
And I'm going to take the Flame Spitter.
Okay. So the card not taken goes away, and now I have this Blaze and the Chain Lightning, and I couldn't put it in any of those 6 slots. They're typically executed from 1 to 6. I'll put Blaze into the number 2 slot, just because it might be that I find something else that I want to do before that, and same for the Chain Lightning. I'm leaving a little bit space in between, just to give me the opportunity to maybe add in another programming card later down the road.
I'm going for the same.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, we just run through and execute the command lines as we do. So in my case, I'm doing Blaze, so my guy moves forward 1 space, then deals damage to the left and right. There's nothing left and right, so nothing happens. But as the second thing, I trigger Chain Lightning, and Chain Lightning works as thus. I can hit 1 target in the 3 places in front of me, and this crystal would be 1, and deal 1 point of damage, effectively destroying this crystal. Yay! And now this says if a minion dies, chain to 1 additional target. Now we could dispute and say if the crystals are minions or not. We go with the literal word of the card and say this is not a minion, because crystal might not be conductive and not be branching of lightning. However, if it would have been a minion, I could have changed this to another target that is diagonal to that one. So I could have hit if this would have been a minion, I could have hit a minion standing there. And upgrades let you charge to even further spaces.
So I'm gonna turn 90 degrees.
Yeah, Sarah's memory core has a special ability, and meaning if she drafts cards, so next turn she gets to draft an additional card, effectively giving us more choices.
And then I look really nice, because I cannot do anything with my shooting in the Blunderfuck.
So the Flame Spitter level 1 just hits the first two spaces. So that's typical for Mechs versus Minions games in its early stages. You just run around and do... in regards to movement, you can never really leave a playing space. If you hit a wall or the boundaries of this, you just stand there and bump into it, and that's it. However, if you bump into another mech and there's space, you just push it, which can lead to hilarious results.
Which are going to be discussed in funny stories and experiences. Don't take anything away. So, are we going to get any minions now?
No. So in a full game, the next phase would be the minion phase. But since this is a tutorial, just to get us warmed up, we will just be dealing with these command line cards right now. And our mission, as I said, is to destroy those 4 crystals. So let's do that.
Yeah, that's visible.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can choose first, and I have the lamp glare.
And there's a pretty cool card here called Omni Stomp that allows someone to go straight or to the
Would you want that, or can I take that?
I would like to have a card that lets me turn and an upgrade to my Blaze, because then I can...
Okay, so I'm gonna take the Omni Stomp, and I'm gonna take... Another. Do you want the memory core to turn or the cyclotron to turn?
Actually,
because I would take the respective other.
Take the cyclotron.
You take the cyclotron.
No, you take it.
No, I take it. Okay, good.
Technically, I would have taken the next card. So this is really, really somber and relaxed the way we do this here.
But that's just for camera and our nerves.
Because in the full game, typically this phase is timed. So everybody gets to take a card. Yes, you can try to talk about strategy. We're not. We don't want to show you us in panic mode. But
it's not pretty.
At least. Yes. In fact, I think I just changed my mind. I will take the memory core to turn.
Yeah, no, I said that. Why are
and instead of upgrading my Blaze, I will take the Rips. So I think it depends. I don't know what you're going to hit, but we'll figure out.
Hopefully something and not you.
We'll figure it out.
All right. So since everything's programmed, I'm going to start. I can move 1 space forward or to either side. I want to move to either side.
Left, okay. Then you can turn 90 degrees, or you must turn 90 degrees.
Oh, then I want to go forward, of course. And then I turn 90 degrees. See?
Okay.
And then I can hit each target, so that would be this one, because I do have one of the ones.
Then you do another turning of the 90 degrees. And you hit a target. We should explain better, because I'm not sure if you can see what's on the card.
Probably not.
So the Cyclotron is also a turning card, and its effect is you destroy all targets that are diagonal to you in range 1. So effectively, she could hit 4 targets at the same time, but there's only one.
But I'm quite humble, so I only take 1.
Yes. So now it's my turn. I will also turn 90 degrees with my memory core. Then I will blaze forward 1 step. Then I'll play the Ripsaw. The Ripsaw hits along this line until the end of the map, so to speak, and hits 1 target in its level 1 configuration, which takes care of this thing here. And therefore we have destroyed all the crystals, which brings us to another gameplay feature in this. So some of these missions say something, okay, now you've done this, turned it over, and you have a so-called escalation. Now, escalations are twists and turns. Some missions have them, some don't, some are really annoying, some are not so annoying. In our case, this escalation says, kaboom! We are now faced, unfortunately, with a volatile explosion of those crystals. Actually, it's an explosion of those volatile crystals. Don't judge. And we will be taking damage, which brings us to a new gameplay concept. So there's this deck of cards, which is called the damage deck. And each mech will take 1 damage now because we have destroyed the crystals and suffer from the explosion. So I'm taking the first card, and before Sarah can take a card, I have to deal with this. There are effectively different types of damage cards. Stuck Controls, the one I got now, is a card that will be slotted. And it forces me to rotate right 90 degrees. To determine where to slot it, I'll have to roll the 6-sided die. I rolled a 1, and now the Stuck Controls will overwrite my memory core. Also, when drawing the card, you have to deal the text right away, so I have to draw to rotate right 90 degrees. And then we have Sarah.
I'm having Haywire Rotator. I also have to slot this, roll the rune die, and turn to face that direction. I'm gonna slot first because we know that die here. It's a 4, and it, covers up my Flame Spitter.
Yes. Now, the rune die is this colorful die with that corresponds with runes you might also find on the game board.
Like, for example, here.
For this card, there's also a compass here. That gives you an indication of direction, and that's what Sarah's going to do now. She's going to roll, and now her mech has to turn into the green direction.
I'm gonna show you my butt.
What?
No, like here, I'm turning away from you. My mech shows you the butt? No.
No?
No. Okay. He's kind of cray-cray. He looks really cray-cray. He has like the weird... Look at this picture. It has like really the weird smile. It's kind of creepy.
Since we didn't have them so far, there are effectively 3 different types of damage cards. These are ones that get slotted in. There's an event type card that does something and then is discarded, and then there's system damage cards that are also having an ongoing effect or a more permanent effect. Now, to further the escalation after taking damage, we have to eliminate minions that appear to have spawned in. So I will set those up.
Shoot them in the blunderbuss.
And this looks only mildly professional with the card here, but I am really bad with remembering where they get set up. So
I thought with remembering anything. I would have asked you for your name now. Because I said it at the beginning of the video. Do you remember your name?
I'm not allowed to talk to strangers.
I'm not your stranger. I'm not a stranger. Oh gosh. Yeah. It unravels. It goes south from here.
Now, there's a new type of phase going on. So you've learned so far or seen that we have this drafting phase and then the command line slotting and then running the command line. Typically, you do that, and afterwards you have a minion phase where first minions move. The way minions move depends on the scenario you're playing. The rules for this scenario say we roll the rune die and every minion moves into that direction. In this case, they all move into green.
Now?
So these little guys all go... one to the right.
Great. I'm gonna get another damage.
In fact, 2. Do
they move right after they've been set up? Or do we start a new drafting round first?
I'm pretty sure they move right after they've been set up. Because otherwise this game is too simple for... Let me...
can play it blindfolded.
Let me see. Set up this. Learn the minion phase.
Oh yeah, that means they do move. Okay. Otherwise,
minion movement.
Okay, so I get 2 damage.
In fact, it doesn't matter if we move first or not. It's a tutorial mission. So let's pretend that we just continue on from we have executed our command line. Now it's the minion phase, the minions have moved. After movement comes spawn phase. Now the tutorial doesn't have that, but typically the spawn phase introduces more minions into the game. And that can escalate really quickly, depending on what kind of game you're playing. After that, minions attack, meaning we check who is standing next to a minion. Sarah's character is standing next to 2 minions. I'm standing next to 1 minion, meaning Sarah gets to draw 2 damage cards, starting with the first one.
I'm getting reorder your command line, swap 1 with 6, 2 with 5, and 3 with 4. And then I can discard this one because it has a trash can.
Yes.
Number 2, move 1 space to the left. Let's see, where's left? It's there. And then I have to slot you.
Move 1 space towards the internet. And
5.
It's blocking your memory card. Now you might already be in panic at your homes and say, wait, you're taking so much damage, you cannot do anything. How do you repair? Wait until the next draft phase and I will tell you. But first, I'm also staying next to a minion, so I also take 1 damage. Also a slot card, another rotate right card, and this one gets on here. And I think they get rerolled once, if you have one already there. And rerolled, and rerolled, and 4, finally. And now I'm rotating right, because facing the wall is always one of my special abilities.
Now we don't look at each other anymore. See how far it has gone. So
right. Now we are drafting, and I'm the first player. Thank you.
Why did you get the first damage then before? Because I would have gotten the first 2 damage cards. That's why I thought
you got the first 2 damage cards right now.
Now, but before the other damage phase,
because I was explaining it.
Oh, okay. I thought I memorized. Okay, you don't. I thought I was the first.
We'll have another draft. So we have.
It's just 5 because you don't have a memory core and I don't have a memory core.
Yes. Unfortunately, we had memory cores that allow us to draw more cards, but they are currently indisposed.
4 and then on top, yeah.
One here. Mm-hmm. So another thing you probably cannot read on the top card. These cards at the bottom also have 2 additional abilities, or 2 types of abilities. It's you can scrap the card instead of slotting them, and then use either 1 card to repair 1 damage, which effectively just removes one of these cards you have here, or you can swap 2 undamaged slots. So, for example, I could swap these 2, or I could swap my Ripsaw to the number 5. I think I will start out, and I would like to repair 1 damage, and I think I'll take the Skewer card for that. Which card do you want?
Is there another repair card? Because
Yes.
I'd really like one.
There's at least 2 more repair cards. The Scythe or the Blaze?
Scythe.
And
So
as the second card, do you want to have the other repair damage card as well?
I don't necessarily need it, but because this one here, I can. Oh no, it's the root. Yeah, I should probably repair. Otherwise, any strategy is.
I'll take another memory core. So
the Blaze was
yes.
the
So
magic.
I'll spend the Skewer card instead of using it to slot to repair damage. In this case, I will repair.
Don't mix in the damage cards with.
No, the damage cards are over there.
Oh, okay.
At least they should be.
No. Because I've just thrown mine that way and I didn't see where it was put. Anyway.
However, the second memory core card I can use. I could put it anywhere, but I think I'll put it here and upgrade my existing memory core card. Meaning now on my next draft, I get to draw 2 additional cards. And when I run my command line, I can now decide if I want to turn 90 degrees or 180 degrees, which is actually
pretty cool.
Pretty good. I think we we're good. So I will run my command line. Now, according to my memory core, I will turn 180 degrees and nothing else happens. But then the blaze goes. I go one step forward and that kills this minion. And then I have my ripsaw that fires straight forward, kills this minion, and then I have to turn right 90 degrees. Now, this doesn't show up in this game, but it's worth mentioning. There's typically this tracking board here, and whenever you kill a minion, you put the minion on this tracking board, and whenever 5 have been killed, you advance this team gear thing. What you need that for? Well, you, over the course of the game, will earn special abilities. In fact, you have one already printed on here that says if you have 15 team gears, you get into this overdrive mode and get one special ability. So in my case, if I kill enough, or if we as a team kill enough, I get to execute my command line and I can swap 2 slots for free if I want to. This doesn't happen in the tutorial, certainly, because we will never get there with that few minions available. But just to give you a hint where this game is going, and I might show you one of the later cards that you get.
I have to turn 90 degrees, and then I can kill that minion.
Sure.
Then I can kill that minion with the flame spitter.
Then you can turn again.
And then I can move either forward or to the side. I want to turn to the side.
Okay.
Yeah. Totally awesome.
Now it's back to the minions. So we roll the die of movement.
Yellow.
Yellow is south. So
away from the internet.
We have no minions that spawn, no minions standing next to us, so they don't deal any damage.
Which means my memory core is free, so I get to choose 6 cards. Would you be so kind?
We have another cyclotron. We have a chain lightning. We have we have 3 cyclotrons in total available to us. Another skewer and another omnistomp. Do you want to upgrade your cyclotron and your omnistomp?
Yeah, why not? I would have loved to have had a flame spitter or a ripsaw, but since there's nothing here, I'm gonna go for omnistomp and thingamajig.
So I also take a cyclotron. In fact, I think I'm going to take 2 cyclotrons. And I'm slotting them in the same slot, so I get now a double cyclotron, which allows me to turn 90 or 180 degrees and kill everything that's diagonal of me in range 2. But it's Sarah's turn to go through her command line, so she gets to turn first.
I want to just go 90 degrees. Oh, excuse me, honey. Didn't want to bump into you.
The flame splitter hits nothing.
Yeah, hits nothing, but I can go forward.
Then you can turn again 90 degrees.
Must turn.
And then you can either go forward or to either side.
Forward. I want to get you in the end, hopefully. And I don't want to get damaged. Again, I don't like damage.
Okay. I'm not sure where...
Do you want to take the other dude?
Yeah.
Can you take him out?
I'll turn 180 degrees. Use my blaze to go 1 step forward. The ripsaw hits nothing. I have to rotate right 90 degrees because I didn't take care of my damage card. But the cyclotron allows me to rotate wherever I want, pretty much. Well, it's 90 or 180 degrees, and then kills everything diagonal, and that hits him.
And that's
in range 2.
Range 2. That would have been... And that's a 3.
Okay, and minions move. So please roll the minion die.
Green.
So they are actually not moving at all. They're squishing themselves. Minions can also be stomped. They are way squishier than our mechs. So one way to kill them is just to run over them. Minions push each other. But since there's a wall there...
There's nothing to push anymore.
Not much happening. So I think
7 cards.
We're going for the almost last turn here. I have my memory core with the second upgrade, so 5 plus 2 makes 7 cards, as Sarah just said.
I can do math.
We have a speed card that lets you allow to move forward 1 or 2 spaces, a cyclotron, another ripsaw, a hexamatic aimbot that essentially just kills off one guy close to you, and we have 2 of these cards.
Could actually...
And
that would actually mean that I or you, if you would slot them, you could kill the 2, or I could kill the 2 in one go, because they're 2 apart from me. If I take both of these, slot them first, they're gone.
I think I will take the one of the aimbots. Which card do you want to take?
Let me see.
You could upgrade your flame spitter if you wanted to.
Flame. What's it saying? Do I turn before? Yeah, I turn before. Yeah, I'm gonna take that one.
And I'll take the cyclotron.
And I take the blue one.
So another thing we can do is I have 2 memory cores here, but what I'll do is I'll just keep on going and add the aimbot. It's the same type of card. If you place a new card here, you just get rid of the cards that are in there, but you can kind of build up with different cards and then get the level 3 bonus for the card you want. And the cyclotron I put on my other cyclotron. Now, since I have a level 3 aimbot, I hit 1 target within 3 range. So 1, 2, 3... So I can hit this guy with my aimbot. Then I go forward 1 step with my blaze. I shoot a ripsaw at nothing. I have to rotate right 90 degrees. And then I have the cyclotron, and the level 3 cyclotron says I can face any direction. And I hit all targets that are diagonal 3 range. So he is out of range, but I'll turn to face Sarah. And it's Sarah's turn.
I have to turn 90 degrees. I don't hit anything. I have to turn...
I think you want to turn somewhere else with the scythe.
Why?
Oh,
I can turn 90 or 180.
Yes.
Now.
But then you have to face away from the minion.
So, it was like that?
Yes.
Badida.
Turn there, yes.
And don't hit anything.
The flame spitter level 2 hits everything here, and there.
Yeah, so he's gone.
So that kills the little minion, and that concludes our tutorial. We were successful. Now there's more to this. There's some environmental stuff available, like oil slicks that make
Let me bring in the box and show a few of the other things. Do you have all the boards there?
No.
Or all right. Can you move?
As I said with this tracker here, so this tracks minions killed by us, but it is also used as a timer in some missions. So you have to kind of maximize.
Where are all the minion thingies? Oh, behind me. Okay. I should maybe open my eyes. That would be helpful, don't you think? So there's things like in this box.
There's more tiles to play on. They actually have 2 different sides to do that. Again,
You can give me that.
not trying to spoil too much. This hourglass, as I said, is used for timing the draft at the beginning. Although I have to say we mostly play. Well, then
you can put in a few minions and maybe a few more minions. Not enough, no? More minions. So you can see you have plenty of little grey dudes to kill or push off the board, and the mechs go in here. And this is something that I want to say before, or now that we go into the official likes and dislikes. I really like the insert.
It's
cool. It fits so
this
well.
Doom Tracker, for example, is using these metal
Copper? Yeah, it's copper.
gears that go on here, or these little coins. So there's a pretty high production value attached to that game, which also now it tells you how much is actually in that big box.
And now we switch to the front camera again.
Yeah, I want to.
Or do you want to show more cards?
I want to show one more thing.
No problem.
So this is one of the early cards you get. I mentioned you get special abilities if you forward the team gears. So, for example, my character that I just played has something called Auto Wrench that is able to automatically repair another mech if you tow him. Something we haven't talked about, but you can. Not only can you push a mech, but you can also tow them around if you have enough movement points. But the game will slowly build upon that and explain that to you. And
sorry,
try to get you up to speed there. But the stuff we just showed you is essentially the major part of the game. You will be drafting these cards, slotting them, and then trying to reach some kind of arbitrary goal that is set up by the scenario. And speaking of scenario, this is what they look like. You have these...
We're still on this camera.
Which one?
This one, still. Because you're still showing things.
You have these dossiers that have an operation name in here, and they come with, effectively...
I think they've had really hot chili. No?
They come with little manuals that then will explain to you what to do in that particular mission.
And now we go to the front. Or is there anything more to show?
I think that's fine. I think and for the front camera I can show that there because I haven't yet. The minions you encounter are all also slightly different. They may not be painted, but they have been shaded out of the box. So yeah, they're pretty cute.
Yes.
And the crystals are also nice looking. And they're crystalline plastics. Plastique.
So, my love, do you want to start with what you liked, or do you want me to go first? Do you want to maybe sometimes change it up? You want to drink coffee? Good. So we go with the don't change a running system kind of thing. Anyway, me liking this game.
What? Is that your Jar Jar Binks impression?
Yes.
Me likes this game.
But I don't have a
lisp.
Whatever, I don't have a lisp. Anyway, like I said, in so many gamers couches that feature games that reference to video games or certain movies, I had no idea of the original material that this game was kind of build upon.
You mean the source books?
The source books. Because I don't have a reference, and I didn't have any expectations with when this game arrived and stuff like that. But opening the box, the cutesy factor is so cool, and the inserts were so cool that I couldn't wait to play this game. This game came around Spiel. We didn't buy it at Spiel, but it was pretty much delivered the same week last year. And this was just, for me personally, a very cute, amazing surprise. And once we got to playing this game, I really, really, really liked it. Not having any association with League of Legends or Minions or whatever. And I'm not talking about the cute yellow Minions I know those. But...
not Minions, TM.
Yeah. Papagena Bello Banana. Not those. The other ones. I don't get any reference there. And I think you don't have to. This game is, in my opinion, a very good standalone with what it comes with. We haven't played all of the missions so far, I have to say. But as far as we got, it is a very solid standalone game. from the gameplay, the types of missions, the differences there, the cuteness factor, the production quality. You don't need to get the references there to enjoy this game, or at least I don't. I'm very, very happy. Amazing production quality, I have to say. These are really good and sturdy and very nice gaming components here. I do love the mechs. They're beautiful to look at, and that just enhances the gameplay for me. It is, as any cooperative game, sometimes kicking you in the butt really, really hard, which is, again, kind of cool, because you might have to play a mission once or twice, or maybe more often even, to figure out, okay, how to get there, or which cards are maybe more preferable to program first and stuff like that. But you always have a chance. You're never mathematically lost in the beginning, and I like that a lot. I do like the programming kind of thing, and that the manual comes with like a note saying, if you program it wrong, don't worry, you can always scrap a card and do something else in a future turn. But just go through the dilly-dally kind of moves on the board and have a giggle, for God's sakes. So I liked that a lot. And the only thing I sometimes... Well, it's not a bad thing. It's just that I'm impatient. In these kind of moments, it takes a minute to set up. And I want to play so bad that these 5 or 10 minutes to set up and get the big box out of this heavy big box that doesn't fit into our shelf. It's like, I want to play so bad. And then you have to be very aware that you, Sarah, me, being a clumsy person, maybe be a bit careful with the plastic. You might get cuts on your fingers. Never happened. Because I'm just impatient and want to unpack fast and play and stuff. So that was the only thing that kind of like, I have to be careful. Oh well. Other than that, awesome game. And now it's your time to talk. I'm done.
I'm
all over the place, I know. Like this game, this is all over the place.
I just now picture a programming book in my shelf from the publisher O'Reilly or someone else, like the dilly-dally of the Flabbergas, which is programming for runaways or something like that. So, things I like and don't like.
I do have a microphone here, I guess, on this thing that can... the blunderfuts.
Due to the nature of me and my personal traits, I do like programming games quite a bit.
Quite surprising.
I like the set this up and set this little machine in motion and then see it execute. Now with this game, it's not quite there when it comes to that feeling, which may be good for some, bad for others. If you really thrive on I have set up this perfect line and now it does what I want it to do, yes, that's cool, but this game disrupts that quite heavily with the damage cards, and that is incredibly frustrating. So it depends. If I know some folks really don't like programming games, and with that and the hilarity that ensues if something goes sideways, this game might still be for you then. On the other hand, if you really like programming games, you might want to have it to be very deterministic. It could be that this isn't doing that for you, like other games would be.
It's more of a chaos game than a programming game, is it?
Yeah. I have to say,
at least some mission.
This is one of the co-op games where I entirely go in and not expecting to win or lose, and just see how it turns out, because it's. Yes, you're trying to win, but there are things where and draw 18 damage cards kind of things happen. Well, not quite, but close enough. That kind of wreck your entire operation in turn 2.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in the funny stories.
And that can be frustrating, but going into it and saying, this is like playing with a real little robot where you just punch in some commands and then laugh at it as it stumbles around the ground and runs into walls. This is the board game version of that. That being said, Sarah mentioned it, not knowing the ties into League of Legends. Now, I haven't really played a lot of League of Legends, but I'm familiar with the MOBA games in general. And
what does it mean in real? Because it sounds like an acronym. What is it? Multi-operational boob association games? I don't know. What does it mean?
Almost. I think it's correct. It's multi-opponent battle arena.
Okay. So it's something like Crossmaster.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, just for me to picture.
A MOBA is actually a real-time strategy game that got retrofitted to be where everybody's just playing one unit, like these, and fighting each other, typically in a team 5-on-5 or 4-on-4, depending on what you're playing.
Got it.
But also, and this is why this might feel tactical typically from a top-down view. There are side-scrolling MOBAs, but I think the two big ones being League of Legends.
I never scroll to the side.
League of Legends being the biggest one, and Dota 2, they are all kind of top view, and then you have you and your team against the other team, and the minions that show up there are just computer-controlled little dudes that run around, and you try to assist them with your characters.
Okay.
And if you're coming to this and saying, hey, this is a League of Legends board game, you will probably be disappointed if that is your main draw. Yes, this is adjacent to League of Legends, and
adjacent is nice.
And has tie-ins to that. And you would say, yeah, I know this guy, and but this is not a MOBA. You don't have the heroes from League of Legends in this. You have these four guys,
and that was your German lesson.
on their little Mechs, running around stomping minions.
Sorry.
There are some things that have a little bit of that feel. As I said, these special ability cards that you get to use, but they're not like powers you would have in a MOBA. They don't recharge in that manner, or are only used a couple of times or something like that. This is mostly a programming game where you have to cooperatively solve the puzzle of the mission at hand and do whatever you want to do.
Or have to do. Not what you want to do, maybe.
Sometimes what you want to do. I have to say I like the artwork of this game in general. Tiny things like the boards look lively, and actually when you said Crossmaster, that reminds me of that a little bit. It's the same kind of cheerful murder style. If that
very
makes sense.
goofy, very cartoony, very bright and clean colors.
The cards are always pretty funnily illustrated and look cool to glance at. And that's I think the major draw. If you like the program, if you like a co-op game, and if you like that art style, you're going to have a ton of fun with this game. That being said, it can be, I think, a little bit light in regards to gameplay. It's you really
like
only
with
do
every mission, or a couple of missions where you felt, this was maybe a bit too easy.
No, I think it's a solid start, and we have played how many missions now? 4 or 5?
3 or 4 or 5. If you give me the stack, I can look under the table.
It's fine.
Hold on. No, I want to know for the.
It's fine.
I have to know for the next section anyway.
It's fine.
Go on talking.
It's fine.
Go on talking, not to me. Love me.
No.
No.
It's fine. So yes, there are more things, more complications introduced,
right.
but that core loop still seems to stay the same.
3 missions,
including the tutorial.
No, plus the tutorial. That's 3 bags opened.
I see.
Opened. Now go on talking.
May I?
Yes, please. Sorry.
You want to grab something from the
No.
other side of the table again?
No, I don't.
But it's. I don't want to say that it is too light. Given the fact that this is at best a 4-player co-op game, and I would recommend playing this with 4 players because it is just more frenetic. You all have hopefully fun and laughing at the hilarity that ensues while you run into each other or keep on stomping minions. The game has some cool stuff in there as there at some points minions will spawn and you think there's a lot of minions in that game because of those 3 trays that are full with that. Expect them to be on the board at one or the other occasion and expect them to go like by kind of smashing and burning and killing all of them when you run through your command line. So it gives that a kind of empowerment feeling to that, which is also cool. What else do I want to touch on? Well, there's some things I saw online people complain about, which I cannot really share, is saying that this game is pretty expensive for what's in the box. And I cannot subscribe to that at all. The box is really full. It has a lot of production value, or a lot of high production value, different stuff in there. And
it's filled to the brim with game components and missions.
And it is a huge box.
Yeah,
now,
it's really heavy. It's like 5 kilos, maybe 3, 4, 5 kilos, something like that.
I haven't.
It's really a big and heavy box.
But given that there are other miniature games on the market that have their minis unpainted, have maybe half of what is in the box here, and charge about the same price.
Nope.
I don't see that. Obviously, it's a fair argument of saying this is not enough. There's not enough game going on for me for that price. That's fine.
That's a subjective thing.
In just saying, well, this is just a bunch of plastic and that's why it's so expensive. I think that would be unfair to reduce the game down to that.
Yeah. Any more wisdom, or shall we rate? Is there any major dislike for you? For me, it's just my inability to not be clumsy.
No, I think this is if you're looking to a game that has some cooperative family friendliness. This is, after all, this is stomping minions, but it's all very fantasy like. I think, what did the box say? 14 years?
14 years and up.
Playtime is 1 to 2 hours, depending obviously on what type of missions or what mission you are currently playing. If I had this as a kid, I would have loved it.
Yes.
It's
yes. Or, a teenager. 14 is teenager.
Well, especially with the programming part, I would have loved this because it really feels like you're doing something that building upon your previous work and then having it run sometimes, and if it works out, it's great.
Really cool. Shall we?
Yeah, I think.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Ta-da! Not surprised.
And you see us doing the thumbs up almost all the time now, but it's even with the...
Well, sometimes I'm like this.
Even with the minor nitpicks and flaws, I still really like the game and the idea of how that is done. Yeah. I would also have liked a MOBA-like game if they managed to
anybody
do that,
wants to make one.
Or a co-op half MOBA, so to speak. But I'm fine with this not being that. But I'm also not as zealous when it comes to League of Legends. So I didn't go into this and say, I really like all my heroes from League, and this is not representing the game or those heroes in that fashion. It's a game in that universe. And quite frankly, board games typically hit it off better, I think, than movies when it comes to relations to video games, and this is one of the good ones. So,
yay! So let's hop into the last section, funny stories and experiences. I'm not going to share anything that happened in the missions, like what the goal was, but you said two things that I want to hit on. First one being in our second to last game. So on Wednesday, actually on date night, we played another mission. And there we had it that it was Daniel's first turn. So I was starting player. I had my turn. Then I gave command over to him to execute his command line, and he did. And we took damage. And there it happened that he actually drew four damage cards. Four damage cards. You had to draw them in the first turn.
I drew one card that said draw 2 damage cards, and the next card was draw 2 damage cards.
Yeah. So we were screwed from the get-go.
Yeah.
And you had 5 slots, I think it was, in the end. You were done with those damage cards already. So turn number 2, he tried to repair and couldn't really do anything. I got damaged. So we said, okay, this is mathematically impossible. It was at that point.
Also by the stance of physics.
Yeah.
And philosophy.
No, like to have even a chance at turning this around. So we just reset, shuffled the cards real well again, and then tried again, and then we had at least a fighting chance. In the end, we made it, but it took us a while to beat that mission.
I totally forgot to mention, actually, you cannot really die in this game, so you don't really lose by taking damage. It just screws up your command line. However, the missions have typically a win state and a lose state that is described by that. So it could either be something like the Doom Tracker that goes down, and if it hits one before you get to do this or that, then you lose the game.
Yeah. Then there's another game that I remembered was actually the first mission, and now I have to be careful not to spoil too much. We played the first mission with 4 players first. Tried the tutorial and then went into the first mission, and it was pure chaos, but we had a lot of giggles. That game is depicted in an upcoming Draw for Initiative episode.
Spoiler.
I'm not going to say what it's about. It's going to come up at one point, so watch the channel. It's not this week or next, but it's going to come up. And then, after that game was done, we didn't make it, I can tell that. We played it 5 times on date night, the first mission.
That's why I think we have played this way more often.
Yeah, we played it. The first mission we had to play 6 times to make it. And then we went on to the further missions. But there's actually a Taco Clock video in time-lapse with it. Just play, reset, because we were just sitting there like, how can we? It was a super difficult mission. We made it. It was like super satisfactory kind of a feeling going. It's like, finally, we can do that.
I have to say, and this is almost to the dislike section, I'm not super happy with the game as it plays if you only have 2 players with 2 mechs. It's at least what we've played so far feels better to play with 4 mechs at all time, or maybe 3 with 3 players. But to play doing double duty, and if everybody plays 2 mechs in a 2-player game, because as I said, in some missions the minions spawn like hell, and having 4 mechs at 4 different spaces, just the location advantage of being able to deal damage in a wider range or a wider field is more important there than to having more command cards to execute.
But then again, the last mission that we had was absolutely fine with 2.
It's not all.
We didn't have to have 4.
It depends on the mission, but it could, as a kind of suggestion, if you find yourself running against kind of the
Brick
virtual,
walls.
virtual wall failing, try either playing this with 4 mechs if you're playing with 2, or just with the 2, and see if that maybe helps a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure all those missions were balanced out for 4 players playing all the time, which I know that they cannot really put it on the box and say this is a 4-player game only. I mean, you can easily play this solo as well. Which would also work. So.
Absolutely. But it was always a lot of fun, always chaos, and there always was the kind of sigh at the table. In every mission, in every try to complete a mission, there was always these kind of things going on. So I enjoyed that a lot. Mm-hmm. And now I think to wrap up this video, or do you have any other things to say? I could give you a puzzle. You wanna solve a puzzle?
I want to solve a puzzle.
Solve a puzzle.
That too.
Okay.
Please hit me with your puzzle stick.
Okay. Okay. The next game we're gonna paint on Draw for Initiative. The video is gonna come out on Wednesday, 9 a.m. CET on this channel.
I think I know.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, was that the hint already?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. The game that we're gonna paint is one where Wheaton's disease, for once, is not as bad. It is a lovely tiny game.
Dungeon Roll, the card game.
No. Where you use dice.
Marvel Dice Masters.
No. We already painted that. No, we didn't. It was Legendary Marvel, I'm sorry. You use dice to...
Roll?
No, you don't roll them per se. You use them for something else and make something with them.
You didn't get my hint. So you use them to roll for something?
No.
Not rolling for something?
Not for the Galaxy. No, we had that game already. It was the 2nd or 3rd episode.
Then your hints are...
It's a tiny little game. Mm-hmm. Wheaton's disease is not happening with this game. It's dice, yes, but they're not used for rolling or stuff that much.
So like in Quicks.
No.
So as a Doodle City.
You build something with it.
Yes.
And it's a competitive game. Mm-hmm. It's more of a tiny one. Tiny game.
I don't get it. It's almost like hitting my head against a concrete wall.
Very good. Very good.
I'm...
This
is really difficult because in this particular example, the architect of that question built a building out of materials that are not helpful for solving your puzzle.
Oh, I love it. Did you get it? No? We'll come back on Wednesday. You did get it? Well, come back on Wednesday. See what Tina and I paint. I hope you enjoyed. Have fun, folks. Have a wonderful weekend. Rest of the weekend. Take good care. Find us on all the tiny little...
Look, I made a blueprint.
Great. Find us on all the tiny little sweet social media sites such as Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or join us on the Board Game Geek site. There is lists for Draw for Initiative and Gamers Couch. You can talk there to us or in the comment section below. The comment section is for you to fill and leave. Yeah, and read and stuff like that. So feel free. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Come back once you find that there's new videos, which is every Monday, every Thursday, Friday, and Sunday, and every second Wednesday. And if you want to hit that bell next to the subscribe button, you are definitely going to be notified whenever a video on this channel goes live. And we're going to see you next Sunday with a new game. We haven't decided yet which game it's going to be, but we're going to share more of our board game collection with you. Take care, fun folks. Bye. Bye. Goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye.